I want to share with you my personal experience with decontamination and how I arrived at where I am today. I've thought several times about whether I really want to do this or not because it really uh, sort of gets into my history and says some things that I'm not particularly proud of. First of all, I remember in going to the orthodontist as a, you know, 8, 9, 10-year old, that before the orthodontist saw me, the dental assistant would come in and brush my teeth. And I think that was because I was a heavy plaque builder. And then we fast forward to when I was in college, and I had some bleeding gums, and I know a gingivitis. And my father, who was a dentist, said that I needed to stimulate my gums, clean better, and suggested that I use a Stimudent. And between the last two molars, the first and second molar on the upper left, I ended up using it there and inadvertently broke off the tip of the stimulator and couldn't get it out and developed a periodontal abscess there. And I went to see a periodontist in Charlotte, North Carolina, Dr. Tom Nesbitt, and he recommended that the second molar be removed, but my father, being very conservative, asked him to go ahead and treat it. And certainly that was the right thing to do. Although I have a significant recession in that area, here 60 years later, I still have that second molar. And then I went to dental school, and there I became very interested in periodontics. And then when I went to my residency program at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, they did a study on the periodontal residents and the senior class. And this was measuring the ash weight of plaque. And what they did is they gave us a pumice wash prophy on a Friday morning and then gave us a jug of sucrose to rinse as many times as we wanted to the rest of the day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then on Monday morning we reported where they scraped the plaque off of our teeth, put it on a little piece of tin foil, dried it, and measured the ash weight of the plaque. And the highest one other than mine was 28 something, I don't know, 28 grams so and so. But anyway, mine was a 48. Mine was off the wall, off the scale in doing that. So that just affirmed what the orthodontist found, that I was a very heavy plaque builder. And I was always concerned about malodor or halitosis, and fortunately when I was in practice I wore a mask. And when I spoke to people, I developed a way of sort of talking out of the side of my mouth so as to, if I did have bad breath, to protect the people that I was speaking to. And then we continued on, and I went in graduate school and finished my residency in periodontics, and brushed my teeth, flossed my teeth, but still did not feel confident about my breath. And then I was lecturing in Ohio one day and ran into Dr. Bob Rippich, who makes the tongue sweeper that you will see in the other videos. And after the lecture, he asked me if I cleaned my tongue, and I was trying to catch a plane, and I said no, I didn't. He said, well, you need to try this. Well, that was when we were using carousel slides, and I had a big carrying case, and I just dropped the tongue sweeper in there. Probably 6 months later, I was in Toronto giving a lecture and happened to notice that the tongue sweeper was in that case. And I said, well, I'll give this a try. And I walked in the bathroom and began scraping my tongue, and I was absolutely appalled at what came off my tongue. As a matter of fact, I looked around to see if anyone could see that. But as I scraped and removed that, for the first time in my life, my mouth really felt clean. So I had been using the tongue sweeper personally for many years following that. And coming under the influence of Dr. Jorgen Slotz and his use of sodium hypochlorite as a decontaminant, I began adding that to my regimen probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I was using it twice a week. And about a year ago, I decided that I would use it on a daily basis, and the reasons for that are in some of the other videos that I gave. And now I do not worry at all about my breath. I'm not concerned with this. My mouth feels clean for the very first time in my life. So I would urge you to try the protocol that is in this series of videos on oil decontamination, and I'm going to add one somewhere along the line on the future uses of it. I'm thoroughly convinced that if we use this solution following scraping our tongue and also put it in a nebulizer to do a nasal lavage, that we can stop many of the diseases which plague the general population. These would include sinusitis. We can have a positive impact on bronchitis, pneumonia, and all of these things. For before I started using this protocol, I would generally have a couple of colds a year, not really the flu, and the cold would always move down in my chest, and I would be coughing up mucus and sputum for about 6 weeks before it finally cleared. But since I've been using that, I have absolutely no problem with that. And this is just such good news that I want to share this with you. And hopefully you will view these videos and they will be beneficial not only to you personally, but also to your patients.